Pat, good evening, everyone. Those winds are still very strong at this hour. We still have high wind warning, wind advisories, as well as red flag warnings. That will take us into tomorrow afternoon. Now, that includes the mountain areas and the Santa Clarita Valley, but along the coast, those warnings have now been downgraded to wind advisories. So again, still very windy, very dangerous out there, but not as bad as last night. Let's take a look at some of the peak gusts from earlier today. Saugus right around 40-mile-an-hour gust. Whitaker peak 60. Last night there was a wind gust of 97 miles an hour there. Lancaster 41. Santa Monica a gust of 37 miles an hour. Last night we had a gust right around 47. So again, the winds are still strong, but down a little from yesterday's winds. Those are the gusts. Here's a look at the sustained winds at 23 miles an hour in Lancaster, 13 in Riverside, 15 in Laguna. So Orange County is starting to deal with the winds. Those winds are shifting. They were coming out of the north yesterday, now starting to shift more out of the northeast. Another interesting factor with this very powerful storm is the snow. We've got near whiteout conditions in Big Bear. 2 inches of snow came down in the last hour. So we've got the snow and the blowing snow making for zero visibility. So there is some moisture with this cold, windy storm system. I'll tell you how much longer it'll last, and we'll look ahead into that 5-day forecast coming up. Pat, back to you.
All right, Rachel, thank you. Well, Pat and I learned from Ms. Johnson there is light at the end of this wind tunnel, but it's not until tomorrow afternoon.
Tomorrow, yes. It's a long tunnel, but there is some light at the very end, and that will be by tomorrow afternoon. These winds are just going to drop significantly.
That's good.
That's good, yeah.
So that is good.
Unfortunately, folks' power may still be out there, right?
Yeah, that's going to be the big problem. And the wind's still strong tonight. So maybe not as bad as last night, but still very strong. So not only do we have wind, but we also have snow. In fact, take a look at this video. This is from Wrightwood.
Wow.
Yeah, it's our Blue Ridge camera looking at Wrightwood.
Snow's going sideways.
That snow.
So you've got the snow, and then you've got the blowing snow, so visibility very low. But let me tell you, at Big Bear, whiteout conditions there. 2 inches of snow per hour. I just checked with the National Weather Service. So far, they've gotten 8 inches of snow in Big Bear, and heavy snow still coming down. So although the storm system, for the most part, for most areas, was dry, we were just dealing with cold, windy weather. The mountains in San Bernardino and eastern portions of LA County dealing with snow, and that will continue through tomorrow. What's happened is this low is just stalled out, and we're on the back side of the low, so it's pulling some moisture into our area, and you can see where the snow is right now. Take a look as we zoom farther out, most of that moisture in Arizona. But again, this is an area of low pressure. This is what's been bringing us the strong winds. We now have wind advisories at the coast, so those have been downgraded, and still dealing with the wind warnings in the mountain areas as well as the Santa Clarita Valley, which should get hit the hardest tonight just because these winds are starting to make the shift coming in out of the northeast. So you can see instead of directly out of the north like they were last night, the winds have started to shift. So these are your sustained winds. You can see anywhere between about 10 to 20 miles an hour for now. They will pick up a little bit overnight tonight through tomorrow morning. And also interesting, in Orange County, you're starting to deal with the winds more today. You weren't seeing them as much yesterday. And of course, we're still dealing with sustained winds. I'll tell you what the sustained winds will be and how long they will last. Let's take you through this timeline. So for tonight, strong winds coming in out of the northeast, mountain snow. For Friday, it'll be a windy start to the day. And then as we head into the afternoon hours, those winds will start to taper off. The wind speed, so these are sustained winds, about 30 miles an hour at the coast and valleys. The strongest winds will be right around 30 and 45 in the mountain areas. But the gusts could get up to 50 miles an hour in the coast valley and 60 in the mountains. So although that's extremely strong, last night we had those gusts up to 80, 90 miles an hour in the mountains and at least 60 at the coast and valley. So still very dangerous, still very powerful, but again, a little bit better than we were last night. So we're trying to keep things positive here. Temperatures tonight cooling down. We're right now into the 40s, 30s in some areas. There's that area of low pressure that has just dropped in, and as it dropped in, just kind of stalling out. And again, we're on the back side of the low, so we're getting that wraparound moisture bringing the snow in, and we're right in between that in this ridge of high pressure, so that's just keeping that steady wind that is moving in. Let's take a quick look at that extended forecast, and you can see temperatures will stay into the 60s this weekend into next week, but keep in mind still a chance of some snow showers into tomorrow and the winds through tomorrow afternoon. Back to you guys. Well, Paul and Pat, not only do we still have these powerful winds, but we've been talking about the snow. Well, a winter storm warning has now just been issued. This will continue through 7 a.m. tomorrow. Snow levels in San Bernardino could drop as low as 3,500 feet. Above 6,000 feet, we could see up to 10 inches of snow. The lower levels right around 2 to 4 inches of snow. So not only just the snow, but because of the winds, we've got the blowing snow. Winds gusting up to 50 miles an hour, making for low visibility. But of course, the winds also the big story. You can see how the winds have picked up in Laguna, 17 miles an hour, 21 there in Lancaster, 12 in Riverside. So again, we are still looking at the winds, and now we've got that heavy snow coming down from Brightwood to Big Bear. And again, we could see up to 10 inches of snow earlier at Big Bear. Snow was coming down 2 inches per hour. This shows you where we expect to see the strongest winds. The shades of red are the strongest winds. There's a time stamp there at the bottom of your screen. And the areas of blue show the lighter winds, so you can see the strongest winds for the rest of tonight into tomorrow morning, staying mainly in the mountains of LA County into the Santa Clarita Valley, and then those winds really start to taper off by tomorrow afternoon into the evening hours. But again, those winds are still strong, and they will stay strong through tomorrow afternoon. Pat and Paul, back to you.